Good afternoon, one and all present over here. I am Dr. Purav Desai, Dean, Faculty of Homeopathy, Parul University, and Principal of Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathic Medical College. Uh, I heartily welcome you all to the series of webinars organized by Faculty of Homeopathy. Till today, we have arranged almost 34 webinars, and this is the 35th webinar of ours. Every time we bring to you the experts from the domain of homeopathy and they share their expertise among us. Uh, there are 16 diverse faculties working in Parul University, and all of us are regularly conducting the webinars, and we are also conducting the same. For this Herculean task, we have the dynamic leaders. There are four principals of Faculty of Homeopathy. Dr. Hina Rawal from Ahmedabad Homeopathic Medical College, Dr. B.P. Panda from Parul Institute of Homeopathy and Research, and Dr. Hitat Mehta from Rajkot Homeopathic Medical College. We four work together as a team and organize the time to time various webinars to activate to motivate the faculty of homeopathy as well as to increase the all round development of each and every one of our fraternity. Without wasting the time, I request Dr. Hina Madam to introduce today's speaker. Hina Madam, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Purav, sir. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce today's speaker, Madam Dr. Xaviers. She is an MD in Repertory Homeopathy. She is a Research Officer Scientist 1 at National Homeopathy Research Institute in Mental Health, Kottayam, under Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. She has done her post-graduation from the National Institute of Homeopathy, Kolkata, and done her graduation from Bharati Vidyapith Homeopathic Medical College, Pune. Ma'am is working as a research associate under the National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, CVD, and Stroke at a tribal belt or at district Nasik in the state of Maharashtra. Recently, ma'am was discussing that how difficult it is to work in such a tribal area because the facilities are very less as well as they are lacking in infrastructure also. She is working in this project from 17th May 2017 to 31st May 2020. Ma'am is also awarded with Gaurav Purashkar as Kartavya Daksh Doctor for her service as an RA under NPCDCS project by Chhatrapati Mahamanav Maulana Azad Vichar Manch, Igatpuri. Ma'am has published many articles in both international journals of Ayush as well as national journals like the Homeopathic Heritage. She has also published many bulletins of the national in many articles in the bulletin of National Institute of Homeopathy. I warmly welcome ma'am for today's webinar. Madam Xaviers, please welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Hina ma'am, for your elaborate description about me. I'd like to share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so is my slide visible?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
am I
Yes,
audible?
ma'am. It is visible. Yes, ma'am. And you are audible also.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, a warm welcome to all the viewers. And the topic that I decided to select today is factors influencing manuscript quality and standard guidelines in homeopathy. Okay. So now there's a reason why I decided to select this topic. When I was invited for this webinar, my first question was, who will be the viewers? So I was told that the viewers will be students, there'll be faculty, there'll be PG students, and there'll be homeopaths, like there'll be doctors, homeopathic practicing doctors. So basically, why this topic? Okay, and how this topic today will have some benefit to you as a student, as an academician, and as a practitioner. Okay, so student, every student today is a future researcher. Okay, you need not be working as a research officer or anything related to research, but you are, even as a practitioner, you're doing a research in one way or the other. All right. So when research and otherwise also, if you are planning, if you would select, if you would choose to do your post graduation or later on do your PhD, so research is introduced as a mandatory subject in all these fields. So the young researcher are expected to write articles during the course and publish in various index journals. So what happens is when students generally call me or if my colleagues call me, they're doing their PhD right now. So they call me that I don't know why my paper is being rejected. I've done a wonderful work. Still my paper is not being accepted somewhere. You know why? That question is to be addressed. Second is as an academician, of course today there'll be doctors who are guides to PG students, who are guides to PhD students. They will know better, but those people who are pursuing their career as an academician, who are looking forward to be a PG guide or looking forward for a career as a as a teacher in an institute, it is important for you to know that it is not only important to undertake quality research, but documentation of the same and publishing them in index journals. And it is also equally important and mandatory field in academics. Okay. So what are you going to suggest your students to follow what, like why their research article is not being published? So this topic of, importance of quality articles, how to produce a quality articles is a mandatory field even as an academician. And third is a practitioner. Now here I'd like to discuss one thing. You go through social media. I think these days everyone are using social media like Facebook, Instagram, and I have seen so many doctors posting their success stories on social media. Okay, see, that way somehow it may help to increase your patient in OPD, maybe to some extent. Maybe your colleagues will be so happy and oh, congratulations, share the remedy, how did you treat the patient. But where is it putting that impact on making homeopathy an evidence-based medicine? Okay, so as I said, every student is a future researcher. Why? Because he or she will be into practice, isn't it? So a practitioner is in itself a researcher. You are an independent researcher. So please there's no point in posting these, your success stories on the social media. Yes, it may give you some temporary reputation. It may give you, maybe a couple of patients may approach you, but somehow, how is it benefiting the system as a whole? Okay, so that is why I decided to choose this topic, and so that everyone, whether you're a student, whether you're an academician, or whether you're a practitioner, or anyone, would be benefited on how am I supposed to write an article that it will be published. Okay. Before that, one more thing I'd like to tell you is like, if you just Google about homeopathy, initially what happens is what comes up. It will say that homeopathy is a pseudoscience and quackery and all that. So where are we lagging behind? Every homeopath, as I said, has experienced at least one case. As a student, we have seen cases being treated by homeopathy. As a practitioner, when you're into practice, you yourself have treated patients with homeopathy with excellent results. But why is it so that when you Google about it, you don't find enough data? Still, the situation is much better in the last 5 years because there is awareness about it, and we as a system are also developing. But if you go, still, you open up Wikipedia, if suppose I have to ask you that there's a term, I want you to Google about it. Wikipedia is the most common thing where everyone would go, even as a student, even as a PG student, even as a PhD student. So even there, homeopathy is being addressed as a pseudoscience. Why is it so that in spite of being the second most common practice system of medicine in the world, we are nowhere behind? It's growing. Still, why is it so that we are unable to change that line, change that perception about homeopathy? Because we don't have quality papers published. Where? In index journals, in peer-reviewed journals. We don't have papers published where if someone is typing homeopathy, those papers are coming up first, isn't it? So why to write a quality paper? This has answered my first thing, that instead of posting your like cases on the social media, yes, you do that also. I'm not saying don't do it, but each case is an evidence. Each case is an evidence which you have to convert into a very good quality paper, and after that you publish it. It makes no sense of you doing it on the Facebook or Instagram, because that's not it doesn't put any impact in the scientific world. So why to write a quality paper? Very important. First is to build quality research evidence in homeopathy. Okay, if I say, how does tell me, I don't believe homeopathy works. Show me the evidence of it. So you should be in a position with documented evidence to prove that homeopathy is working. If I say after homeopathic medicine, a case of what is being cured, there should be an evidence of it. Me just saying it orally makes no sense. Okay, at least in the scientific world, it makes no sense. Second is as I said, to make a mark globally by getting the evidence published in an indexed journal. Okay, so in spite, we do have homeopaths who are practicing extremely well. Okay, they have cases, their patients are treating very well, but still globally, they found it very challenging. Even their efforts are being questioned by certain scientific societies. So to make a mark of ourselves globally, to bring ourselves to that reputation, it's very important that we publish some quality papers in a quality journal. Okay, and as I said, lastly is to establish homeopathy as an evidence-based medicine. So next time, if anyone searches about homeopathy, the first thing that should pop up is that homeopathy is an evidence-based medicine. Right, that is our target. We don't want anyone saying that it is a pseudoscience or this science, that science. We know, you and me who are practicing homeopathy, all those millions of patients who have benefited by homeopathy, we all know that it is working. So we have to put up these results in front of the scientific world and establish the status of homeopathy as an evidence-based medicine. So that is the reason that we should write quality papers. Okay, so now one very funny thing that, what I have seen, in fact, some of my colleagues, some of my juniors, some of my seniors also, they are recruited by the pharma company as medical writers. Okay, so now medical writing was never so much well acclaimed field. Actually, people don't know about it. But as I said, as the clinical trials got more popularity, as clinical research, research in medical field got more recognition, medical writing also got recognition. So it was a very much ignored and less explored field. Okay, medical writing is nothing but writing about the clinical trials, putting it into the documentation part that I'm talking about. But now it is gaining momentum and importance over the years, as is the field of clinical research. Okay, many students would say, oh, why should I think of all that? I just want to be a good practitioner. So you'll be a good homeopathic practitioner being questioned by these top societies that you're a pseudoscience, you're practicing quackery. Even that is important. Yes, be a very good doctor. Let that target be there in your mind. But at the same time, all our combined effort should also be directed towards establishing homeopathy as an evidence-based science. This concept of homeopathy as a pseudoscience should be removed in the next 10 years at least. People should not question us. This question that does homeopathy work should never come ahead. The question should be, how does homeopathy work? We don't have to prove it now. So to establish ourselves to that state, we have to provide some good documentary quality work in the form of documentation. So ironically, as I said, I've seen some of my seniors, my colleagues, they're working with these pharma companies and they're recruited as medical writers. And this talent that we must use, that our system of medicine should have used, is going somewhere else. They are producing good quality papers for the other system of medicine. Okay, so what my intention is that even homeopaths, we as a system of medicine need good quality research paper. Divert your mind towards it as a graduate student. think of it. Don't think of, oh, I just want to, I just want to earn money. That is secondary. If earning money is not the only, it is one of the aims of life. It is not the only aim of life. So if you want to be a good practitioner, you want to gain a name for yourselves, it also applies this, that no one should question you or question your system of homeopathy. So everything comes in circle, just like the circle of life, I believe. So if you want to, if you want that homeopathy should be accepted as an evidence-based medicine, what are you supposed to do? First is to identify a problem or develop a research question, right? There has to be, you should identify where am I lagging behind, what kind of research do I need to establish my system of medicine as an evidence-based medicine. What next? The next step is to do a quality research over it. What happens, I've been interacting with students, for some time I was also working in academics before I got into research. It was a very brief time, so I never mention about it. But what is there in the mind of the students is that I just want the degree, I just want to complete it. So even if they have a good research question, the effort is not put into making it as a good quality research. Am I making my point clear? So, it is the seniors should encourage the students. They should put into their mind that whatever work you're doing, let it be a simple PG thesis, make it a way that there has to be a big idea out of it. I want to prove that my research question in a good way by doing a good research. Encourage the students to publish their PG thesis. How many PG theses are good enough to be published? Yes, our mind should be diverted in that way. Next step is, after a good quality research work, documentation of this good quality research into a quality manuscript. Very, very important. Suppose I have a gold mine, but I don't know what to do with the gold mine. Is it of any importance? Is there any value to it? No, it's not important for me to say, yes, I have a gold mine, I have a gold mine. No, it's of no importance if you don't know what is to do with it, what you're supposed to do with it. So you have a good research question, you did a very good research, keep it up. But then did you really convert it into a good quality manuscript? Okay, that is the next thing that comes. And last is to publish it. Okay, publish the work in an index journal. See, there are many journals actually. Okay, so we must know which are the index journal. We must know which are the peer-reviewed journals. You can find all these directly on the net. List of index journals, list of peer-reviewed journal, and be very careful of the predatory journals. Like whatever work you want to publish. So, sometimes the compulsion, as I said, it is a part of the academics to publish work. As far as I know, when, for us, when we were doing a PG, we had to publish 2 articles by any means. And if you're doing your PhD, you have to publish it in any means. So you don't be so hasty to publish it in only for the sake of publishing. I want to publish my work in a good journal so that it puts an impact on the system of medicine. When people read it, somewhere it should feel that, yes, there is something in this pathogen, let's discover it more. So publishing the work in an index journal, which ultimately leads to what? If you publish it, if there is a bulk information of homeopathy, good works on homeopathy, which are converted into quality works and they're published, yes, there is no way that we will be called as a pseudoscience. Homeopathy will be accepted as an evidence-based medicine. Okay. So basically what happens is, if you, want to publish in a good quality journal, it's not so easy also. Like some journals take a long time. So people get they quit. Oh, I'd send my article, they are rejecting it again and again. So let me not publish in that journal only. It's not like that. If they're asking, you learn from your mistakes. Where did you go wrong last time? What are the mistakes that they're asking you to rectify? Because a good quality journal will seek a high quality manuscript. They're not going to go and publish any damn thing in their journal and spoil their reputation. There's an impact factor to a good quality journal. They're not going to spoil it. There's a reputation to that journal. So they will bombard you with certain things which you may find it a bit frustrating, but you have to overcome. Eventually, what the thing is, that each researcher, like each writer, person who is writing a particular manuscript, he improves each time. So mark my words, the first article that you're writing, and after 10 years, the smoothness that you will develop, everything comes with practice. So, and your aim should be to get it published in a high quality journal in spite of whatever challenges you're facing, because a good quality journal will seek a high quality manuscript and that contribute knowledge to the respective field. The manuscript should be worth it. What is it contributing to the field? Everything will be checked by a good quality journal. So for an author's work to be published, it needs to exhibit qualities that characterize well conceived and well reported research studies. Okay, so it has to be well conceived study, it has to be well reported study as well. So now the last thing is that the quality of the manuscript would also affect the editor's decision whether to accept or reject the manuscript. So who is the one who is making a decision of whether to accept or reject your particular article? It is the editor. And he is going to always look at the quality, what quality have you given. So accordingly, he will make a decision whether to accept or reject. So coming to the particulars, okay, I've given a vague idea on why I decided to take up this topic. The reason that what I believe that every student right from your graduation should come. Why do you think it's not only about practice? It's not only about, somehow getting a job. It's not like that. The main thing is to establish homeopathy so that you don't have to go through that embarrassment, of being poked or being called as a pseudoscience. You have to make a mark about yourself. So coming to the particulars, okay, which are the factors considered to evaluate the manuscript? First is the format and structure of the article. Okay, now here we'll be discussing about some guidelines. Okay, so which are those guidelines and which are the guidelines specific for homeopathy? That also we will be discussing. Next is good command on the language and the terms used. So basically, we don't have to shy off by saying that I don't know good English, because English is not our mother tongue. Okay, none of us from India, we are all Indians. So in English is something that we learn. We are multilingual, so we should be proud of that. So if you don't, but it is not something that you cannot develop. All right. So if you're not, none of us are English people. Our mother tongue is not English. So obviously it is a language that over the years we develop within ourselves. As a student, some of us are, had the, we were having the fortune, we were a little bit in this field. We were fortunate that we are from English medium. So somehow that helped us. And otherwise we were in BHMS, our syllabus is in English. So try to develop your skill over the language, read more, okay, practice over it, know where you're lagging behind. But ultimately, one of the factors that do consider the quality of your manuscript is the language. You must have good command over the language, that is English. Why English? Because almost all the good quality journals, the index journals, are written in English language. Okay. So next is clarity of title and length of the article. Very, very important. If I have so much to say that I write everything in my mind into a paper and it becomes, 10, 20 pages, 25 pages, just keep yourself in a position of the reader. Would you be interested in reading such a long, complicated article? No. So the length of the article is also one of the factors considered to judge the quality of the manuscript. Clarity of the title. Okay, you have written a wonderful article, but the title is totally complicated. What is the first thing that you read? It is a title. If you don't understand the title, would you even go inside? No. So your title, clarity of the title is very important. Journal and its area of interest, very important. Now, it may be so that you have written a wonderful article, you have done a great research, you have done a wonderful article, you have even submitted to publish it, but it is not being published. Please see the area of interest of the journal. It is a journal that is publishing only orthopedic cases, and here you are talking about myism. Will they publish it? No. Okay, now, for example, I'll give you better example, Lancet. Earlier, Lancet would take articles related to homeopathy, but lately they deny. Okay, no matter how good the article is, if anything related to homeopathy, they just reject right away. So we have to be very clear. Although it is an index journal, although it is journal of good reputation, but for them, they are having a prejudiced thought process against homeopathy. That is not our fault. It does not mean that our research work is wrong or our work is, our manuscript is bad. So it is journal and its area of interest. Are those journal in a position to accept a good quality work from homeopathy? Isn't it? So journal and its area of interest is also very important. You be very clear of where you're publishing your case. As I said, it is if it is a journal related to only orthopedic sciences, and here you want to publish something about myism in it, they will reject it. It's not something concerned to me. Why should I even entertain your journal, entertain your article? Next is referencing. There's a standard way of referencing. Although it is the last part of any article, it is very, very important that you know the standard ways of referencing. Okay, we'll be discussing about it in detail. Inclusion of appropriate purpose and rational. Okay, one thing, if students, if I ask them, why did you choose this topic, what is the reason, what is your rationale of choosing this particular topic as a thesis, most of the times they only don't know. Okay, so if the doctor only don't know what he or she is doing, then how do you expect the readers, how do you expect your work to be accepted? So inclusion of appropriate purpose and rationale is very important. Inclusion of research components. This particular point, I'd like to club it up with the format and structure of the article. So research components, which we all know, it has got a proper title, then abstract, keywords, then you have introduction, all those come, material and methods, all these things come under the research components. So particular research should fulfill all the research components. Okay, next is multi-level quality check. It's like, as I said, we are Indians, so it's our mother tongue is not English. So we need help. No one is fully 100% self-reliant. So what I suggest, get associated with people who are better than you in that particular field. You have some friends, you have some colleagues who are very good at English. You may be a great practitioner, you may be great at doing the research work, but when it comes to executing, probably, as I said, no one is a complete, like we all lag behind somewhere or the other. So get associated. As a team, we are more stronger. So send your manuscript to those people for a quality check. 2 to 3 people. Tell me, whenever we do something, we do ask others, no, tell me what do you think is wrong in this. So multi-level quality check is a very important aspect. Last but not the least, very important, pre-quality check. What is a pre-quality check? It is a plagiarism. Okay, there are several ethical misconducts done when it comes to article writing and all those things, but one of the most common thing that is done is plagiarism. And I bet if I have to do a plagiarism check on postgraduate homeopathy students of India, I think I don't know, I don't want to say the statistics, but many of them will be caught under it, because you feel copy paste. Even the seniors tell the juniors, it just copy paste, that is what your thesis is. It's not like that. Please change your mentality. Please take it out of your mind. Every work, do it completely logically, do it with sincerity. Plagiarism is an offense. It's a criminal. You can be jailed for it. Actually, it's that serious. So don't take all these things so lightly. Do your original work. If you have taken something from someone, give the credit to it. That is the only thing that we have to do. So coming to the format and structure of manuscript. Okay, so what is the format and structure of manuscript? Basically, there are two things. One thing that you should know, and other thing is, when you are wanting to publish a particular article in any journal, there are guidelines that are given by the journal itself. Okay, but there are some things that you should know beforehand. It's more or less same. It's not that one, if you know the general guideline and the journal will have something different. No, it is not like that. If it, the journal guidelines are always somewhere around the main journal only. So the basic format and structure you should know. there are formally accepted formats. Okay, now what is accepted, universally accepted? So these formally accepted formats to write articles on different research studies. See, now research can be, as I said, there are different type of research that we all know. So what kind of study you are doing? Is it an observational? Is it a randomized control trial? Is it a case report? Even a case report is something that it's an evidence, isn't it? So there are guidelines for it, which are universally accepted. And if you go and if you want to submit your, your manuscript, which are based on these universal guidelines, even the journal's guideline is more or less similar. You'll not have any problem if you follow these universal guidelines. So to write article on different type of research studies, the researchers should strictly abide by the guidelines prescribed. Okay, as I said, every person is a researcher. Every practitioner is a researcher. You may be in academics, you may be a student, you're a future researcher, you may be into the field of research just like me. But so you are expected to know these basic guidelines in homeopathy, basic guidelines in research. You know, homeopathy is just an addition to it. So basic guidelines you must know and be very clear about it. No matter how great a practitioner you are, how great an academician you are, if your research work is not published, I wouldn't consider that research is complete. Okay, even all our PG thesis is incomplete if I'm unable to publish it. So research is not complete until the results are published. Okay, in an index journal, I would add on to that. Okay, over the years, several efforts have been made to enhance the quality of research in homeopathy and hence bring forth the reporting checklist. Okay, so as I said, earlier homeopathy was in a struggling phase, but now we are really upcoming in a great way thanks to all the current teachers and of course, like even our teachers were equally hardworking. Probably they had very less resources to it, but today in the last 5 to 6 years, I can say homeopathy has gained the momentum. Okay, so because of all the combined effort, I wouldn't say the credit will go to just one institute or one person or one practitioner. It's a combined effort and we have to keep it going. Okay, this is possible only if you put it in the minds of the students. BHMS graduates, tell them you're a researcher, you're a future researcher. So that with that momentum, with that thing, somehow I'm looking forward to establish homeopathy as an evidence-based science. Okay, so because of several efforts from all of us, we have enhanced the quality of research and publications. It is coming. Okay, we are over there. Okay, so what are these guidelines, right? So there are reporting guidelines for specific study designs. As I said, it depends on what research you're doing. Are you doing a clinical trial? Are you doing just a systematic review or meta-analysis? Are you doing an observational study? Or are you trying to publish a case report, which mostly people do on Facebook and Instagram? So there are reporting guidelines to it for specific study types. The purpose of reporting guideline in medical research is to create a manual for the authors to follow, which should lead to total transparency, accurate reporting, and easier assessment. Okay. So one thing as I remember as a PG, when I started my PG at NIH, when we were asked to write a thesis, first thing that my question was, can you just give me the format of it? If I have a skeleton of it, it's easier for me to know what I'm supposed to do. So these are nothing but those manual, that skeleton that will be like a guide to the authors to follow. If after the title, it is your designation will come, your names will come. After the names, there'll be an abstract, there'll be keywords. So it is easier for me to make an article, isn't it? Rather than just pushing you all into, don't know what to do. I just have to write an article, but don't know where to start. So if you follow these guidelines, you are almost there. You are almost reaching there, right? So going to the different guidelines, what I'm telling is the guideline that is already there. The guidelines like PRISMA, these are nothing related only exclusively to homeopathy. We'll come to that, what homeopathy has, but you must know as a researcher, okay, first you're a researcher. So what are the guidelines that are available? The guidelines that are available is PRISMA. PRISMA is a guideline that is systematic review and meta-analysis. CONSORT is the guideline that needs to be followed when you are wanting to publish a randomized control trial. STROBE is the guideline that is for observational studies in epidemiology. CARE is a guideline for case report. Okay. SPIRIT, SPIRIT, standard protocol items for clinical trials. MOOS is a guideline for meta-analysis of observation studies in epidemiology. ARRIVE, okay, we all talk about treating animals also, even plants, I think. Okay, so ARRIVE is the guideline that is animal research reporting of in vivo experiments. So see, there are many. Okay, these are the most popular ones that I just picked it up, the ones that are relevant for today's topic. Otherwise, if you see the list, there is lot more. Okay, if you see even for each and every type of studies in other system of medicine also there are. Okay, so I just took which are more relevant for today's session, and because what homeopathy has done, it is just an extension of this. Okay, so what in homeopathy? So homeopathy, additionally, what happened is homeopaths have developed the guidelines as a supplement to these standard reporting tools. So the guidelines that we have is just a supplement to it. Okay, because our principles are different. If you compare the randomized control trial that are happening in the allied science, of course ours is different, because there is individualization here. There is it also depends on the homeopath who's prescribing the particular drug. We don't go for like belladonna for headache or belladonna for fever. We don't have that. In the allied science, they can go for efficacy of paracetamol for fever. In homeopathy, there it becomes like, there's an individualization. So there's difference in the way we practice. So there was a supplement to the already existing standard reporting tools. Their knowledge, what is the benefit of these addition? Their knowledge will enhance the quality of research and will promote best practices. Okay, basically what, as I'm saying, that we are looking forward to do some quality research, do that quality research, but convert them, document them, and publish it in an index journal, isn't it? So as a homeopath, since my principles are very different, since my we are based on individualization, I cannot blindly follow their guidelines. So we have done some supplement, we have added to the already existing guidelines and created one which would go which would synchronize with our pathy, with our system of medicine. Okay, so the guidelines in homeopathy that you should know is REBAR, which is a guideline for reporting experiments in homeopathic basic research. Okay, now there are clinical trials, there are basic research, which is also called as a fundamental research. What is a basic research? It is a type of research that is aimed at gaining a better understanding of the subject. Okay, basic laws, so much. Basic research is a must need of the time for homeopathy. So many unexplored areas, the gray areas of homeopathy. As I said, it should no more be a question on does homeopathy act? It should be removed from the net. Those questions like pseudoscience, does it act, it's placebo, it should not exist. We know it acts. There's no question about it. But the question should be how it acts. So if any student comes up with a good research question and you conduct a very good research, basic research based on the fundamental laws, on the understanding of the subject, okay, now you want to publish it, you have a good result, you have something to present. How will you publish it in a way that your paper will be accepted? Use this guideline, that is guideline for reporting experiments in homeopathic basic research. Okay, so next is Red Hot. What is Red Hot? It is reporting data on homeopathic treatment or clinical trials. So it is a supplement to Consort. Okay, what was Consort? As you can see here, the second one, it is a guideline for randomized control trial. There are randomized control trial in homeopathy as well. But as I said, since our principles are different, our guidelines will have a slight modification. So it is nothing but a supplement. It is not a major difference. As I said, it is because of only since our principles are different, our way of prescription is different. We have this Red Hot, that is reporting data on homeopathic treatment or clinical trial, which is nothing but a supplement of Consort guideline. Next is home case. Okay, home case is for guideline for authors for publishing of case report in homeopathy. You have an amazing case, you have treated it well, you have the evidence of it that you have treated it well. Why don't you just write a case report and publish it using this guideline? Publish it in an index journal and then upload it on Facebook. You know, I have published this case and see this evidence. You're getting my point. So, in fact, I always feel that I should forward this guideline to all those people who keep on regularly updating on Facebook of the cases that they treated. Please write it down, use the guideline, write it down and publish it. You know, that will be more impactful. So, home case is a supplement of care guideline. Care guideline, as we have discussed it here, the fourth one, this is a guideline to report case reports. Okay, so this is the guideline of in homeopathy. I suggest you all go in detail if you're depending on the type of study that you have. Please go and it's all over the internet. You can just, you know, if you have access to Science Direct or anything like that, you can just go and read the articles on it, read what exactly these guidelines are, and please do use it when you are looking forward to publish your case. Second, as I said, good command on language, as I have already said. So it would make the whole effort put into the research fruitless if the researcher is unable to draft the manuscript in understandable, clear, easy to follow, yet scientifically apt words. So, no, as I said, no matter how great, I've seen good practitioners unable to put it into words. So, what is the solution to it? Please collaborate. Don't be like, no, I'm not going to give my cases to anyone. I'm not going to disclose. I'm going to be so secretive. I'm not going to disclose what remedy I gave. It's okay. Let it not be published. You know, somehow you're harming the system. So the whole effort, the glory of your intelligence and everything is of no use if you're not putting it into proper manuscript. As most of the indexed journal publish articles in English, as I already said, and researchers all over the world come from various cultural backgrounds, it may be challenging for them to have an article written in English. See, it's not about only India. Okay, there are people from, you know, Arabian countries, Spain, Spanish, Chinese, you know, still China is a country where people don't know English at all. Still, you go and you see wonderful articles written. They are putting that effort. So it should not be a limitation for you. There are, you know, there's certain things that we can change. So try and find out a solution to it. It's okay if you don't know English. So what solution can you get? I'm saying this for already people who are, you know, who are practicing. But for students, there is always a scope. Okay, try and develop your skill over the language. Read well. It's okay if you don't belong to the English medium. There is no, it can't be a limitation for you to not learn the language. Try to overcome it. And those of you who are really seniors, still, you know, not having good command over the language, as I said, associate with people who are really good at the language, make a team, get together, and as a group, as a whole, what do you say, as a team, we can perform very well. Avoid using words that may be difficult to perceive. Now, it's a two thing, okay? Like, it's a two-sided sword, I can say. Someone who's really good at English, now I decide to use words that no one will understand. Okay, I'm going to show that how great English man or English woman I am. So I'm going to use words in such a way that no one will understand. Be very clear. If no one understands, if the editor does not understand, if the reviewers don't understand, they're going to reject your paper. So it's not about using hi-fi or, you know, words that no one understands. It's about using a very clear, easy to follow, scientifically apt words. Okay, use of poor language, spelling mistakes or grammatical errors will cause direct rejection. They are not going to entertain you. Let your article, let your work be great, let your effort be great, but if there are poor language, spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, it's going to go for straightforward rejection. Typographical errors and spelling mistakes are considered unprofessional by the reviewers and editors. Okay, so if there is typographical errors, I was talking about multi-level check. So this is what happens, you know, no matter how many times you review your article, you may not find out certain mistakes, you know, that a second person can find out. So those are all considered an unprofessional behavior. So please avoid that. terms that are not likely to be understood by many readers must be avoided. As I said, having a good English is also this. You're not here to prove you're not an English teacher, that I want to show that I'm great at my English. I'm going to use words that no one understands. What they will do, they will reject. If they don't understand, they will reject. So complex sentence structures can be demanding for readers and can make good readers look like poor readers. Okay. Now this is from the reader's aspect. If I'm a good reader and I myself have seen certain articles that I just don't understand, it's too complicated for me. So what happens? It does not mean that I'm bad. Sometimes you end up feeling, oh, I'm not understanding. Am I not even average? So complex sentence can be demanding for the readers. And so even a good reader will feel that I'm a poor reader. Eventually, what happens is I will lose my confidence. So please don't let that happen. Make your articles clear, make your articles simple. Don't get into complex writing that even a reader can't understand and they ultimately lose their confidence. Don't do that. So when the words that could be interpreted in several ways are used, it is a writer's responsibility to make sure that the readers would understand clearly of what the authors interpret. Okay, so as I said, a long, complicated sentence can be shortened in a more precise way, in a more uncomplicated way. So, all this comes with practice basically. So avoid using contradictory statement of words, very important. If you're going to start with something and end by saying exactly opposite thing, your paper is bound to get rejected. Take assistance of their colleagues who are proficient in the job. As I said, see, we all, no one is perfect actually. If someone is good at English, the other person may be good at prescribing, the third person may be good at, taking up the initiative to conduct the research. So we are a team. So take the help of the team so that your work will have an impact and be published. Clarity of the title, we have already discussed this. Manuscript having long overstated title along with adjectives and abbreviations or having unclear, ambiguous meaning should be avoided. Okay, because what happens, first thing is you're going to read, anyone is going to read the title only. So even if you have a wonderful article but a horrible title, there are chances that 80% of them will skip it. Okay. An ideal title, how it should be brief, it should be precise, concise, focused, attractive, informative, interesting, and meaningful. Keep it that way. Okay, I've just explained you how an ideal title should be. What I suggest, please go through the old published research papers. See how they've written. Read it again and again. Make it a habit right from your graduation times. Don't take complicated articles at the beginning. Take simple articles. See how they've written. By that, you are even subconsciously, you're improving your command over the language as well. Length of the article. Basically, as I said, each journal has got its own word limit. Okay, in fact, they would reject your article if you exceed that particular word limit. So you have to be very careful about that. Most journals prescribe a maximum word limit to each section, and authors should abide by such instructions. You have a wonderful article, but as I said, I have so much in my mind, I put it into my words. I don't care what the journal says. I will give it, they will only reject it. Okay, they're scanning your article for the word limit. There only you're not, your article is not fulfilling their needs, they will reject it. Compiling the work in the most appropriate way in the frame reflects the quality of the manuscript and also the writing capability for the same. Okay, so it is a compliment for you if you're able to compile it in the frame of word limit, and for your writing quality, that is also a compliment. Okay, so type of journal and area of interest, I have already told you in short. Articles not relevant to the journal, area of interest are often rejected. So the authors, before sending the article to a particular journal, should go through information about the journal given in its website and decide if the article will be entertained or not. As I said, I gave you an example of Lancet. I gave you an example where, it's a journal which only publish orthopedic cases, and here you are submitting article on myism. It is totally not synchronizing. So make sure you don't do that. Inclusion of appropriate purpose and rationale. So if the purpose is not clear to the writer, it cannot be clear to the reader. So make your concepts clear, what you exactly want to do, what you have done, be clear with that. It should be well established on how this particular study can contribute important information to the field. So, if I'm giving a case, for example, I'm giving a case report, they are not going to just publish it just like that. Okay. Why a good journal should publish your case? It has to be that impactful. So is this information something new? Okay. So it depends on that. If a particular research work, which is already done 20 times, it is done and you're just repeating it, what more new information you have that they should publish it? So, all these purpose and rationale should be clear. If similar studies have been undertaken, okay, a need for second study, you have to justify why, what more did you discover, what good thing, why should that journal publish a case, what is extra in it? So those things you have to be very clear about. Okay, high quality writing or multi-level quality check. So as I said, take help, please work as a team. We all are imperfect at some places and perfect in some places. So take your strengths, work over it, and work as a team. So ask colleagues and employ editors to correct errors in grammar, spelling, and sentence structure. Authors should read the editorial policies before submitting the research paper. Very important, as I said, please go through the editorial policy, go through the website of the particular journal. They have, the editorial policies are clearly given. You can even download it, read it, understand it, and accordingly structure the particular article. Okay, pre-quality check. It is nothing but plagiarism check after receiving the final manuscript. See, there are softwares to it. They're not manually checking whether you have taken it from some, don't think that you can just get away with it. Okay, there are softwares to it. So what happens is your article will be put up in the software and it's all automatic, So if you're found, having plagiarism in your article, as I said, it is not a small thing. You are bound. Even there could be, a case filed against you. It is bad to your reputation. The higher your post is, you have to be really careful about it. So in a good quality manuscript, the author should stay away from all kind of ethically unsound practices. See, plagiarism is one type, and there are many types, but as far as manuscript is concerned, plagiarism is the most common unethical practice. Okay, and there are different types of plagiarism as well. There is self plagiarism, there is mosaic plagiarism, there is direct plagiarism. So that is a complete total different topic in itself, which will need another webinar, I can say. But anyway, stay away from plagiarism. I hope you all know what is plagiarism. Plagiarism is not giving the credit of a particular thing. Okay, suppose I'm referring a person's book, I'm referring so and so doctor's book. I have taken a section of that book in my article, but I don't give credit to that author. That is plagiarism. Okay, so that is an unethical work. I have done my work, you have even taken my work, but you're not giving credit to me. That is, it is not, it is an ethically unsound practice. So if any ethically unsound practice is found, then the manuscript is liable to be rejected by the editors of the journal. And yes, one more thing which I have not mentioned in the slide, if you are found committing this thing, plagiarism, there is no second chance. The journal won't entertain any of your further articles. So that is what I said, be very careful, especially we are talking about publishing in quality journals. So plagiarism is a complete no. Okay. One of the most frequently seen ethical misconduct in scientific writing is plagiarism and lack of citations. I've already said. There are many more unethical practices, but here I'm going to talk about only the most common thing, and copy paste that you all do in your PG dissertation is also plagiarism. It is not plagiarism if you give credit. Yes, if you don't give the credit, it is plagiarism. Okay. Referencing in biomedical field, there are many different types of referencing. Okay, if you see, there's a list of it. If you just open up your Word document, okay, and go to that that icon referencing and see the list of different type of referencing styles. But the one that we use in biomedical field, they are basically Vancouver and Harvard styles. Harvard style is also called as American Psychological Association, APA style. Okay, you will see it as APA style. So it is Harvard style. But over that, mostly it is Vancouver only. It was promoted by the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. In this method, references are numbered chronologically in the order in which they are mentioned in the text of the article. So Vancouver, how to, give citations to your article, how to do, these are all skills that you will develop when you start writing the article. So it is important that you first write, okay, and eventually develop your skills. The detail of how to present reference vary from journal to journal. Like as I said, Vancouver is a universally accepted, but maybe some journals may demand for some other form of this. Apart from Vancouver, it has to be Harvard style only. But so you have to go to that particular journal, what they want, go through that guideline also once, which is almost 99% similar to the universal guideline that we just discussed. So citing articles from predatory or pseudo journals should always be avoided. Very, very important. If you are taking reference of a journal, of an article published in a predatory journal, so it won't be considered actually, especially if when you're publishing it in a quality journal, then it is bound to be rejected. Secondly, to minimize citation errors, reference given in the article should be verified by either an electronic bibliographic source such as PubMed or print copies from original source. So see, there are various electronic biographic sources like PubMed is there. Okay, so NCBI, so many things you have. No, you can just go through. Better to take articles from those electronic bibliographic sources, okay, so that you avoid the predatory journals. That is our main intention. Okay, so how to develop your skill? So if you ask me from where should I start? Okay, for a student, for a graduate student, BHMS student, I say the earlier you begin, the better it is. Okay, you can't learn to swim by just looking at someone swim. You have to jump in. But how to jump in? How do you start learning to swim? It is with the help of life jackets. You have trainers. So let your teachers be your trainers. Okay. You have to start developing your skill of writing, reading, in the field of research. Each and every case is an evidence. Just imagine, as I said in the starting, that every homeopath I know, including myself, we have seen cases. Every homeopath have seen at least minimum one case, no matter how much, whatever it will be. Every single homeopath has seen at least one case in his life. Just imagine the amount of evidence that we are losing because they are not being documented, because they are not being published. If all these cases come together, and if they're published, I don't know, I would never believe that this thing of homeopathy as a pseudoscience will never go. Okay, so it should be our target in the next few years that we have to establish homeopathy as a evidence-based medicine. So please develop your skill at the earliest, and it's never too late. So never think that, oh, I already completed my BHMS, so now I don't know from where to start, so leave it. No, it's never too late. So develop your skills at the earliest, but it's at the same time never too late. Okay, so I would like to conclude. I was given 1 hour time, and I think I've just concluded right in the time. Start early. That is my only suggestion that I give, and I'm telling it to every student, be it a first year student, be it a final year student, be it an intern, be it a PG student. Where you decide, you start it right away. Okay, so medical writing is an art. Don't think that oh, I'm so good at English, so let me just, I'm sure I'll do it. It's nothing like that. It is an art, and the only way to master it is practice. The more articles you write, the more perfect you become. And read maximum articles. Start reading, go through those online sites, subscribe them. If it's an open, there are many open access journals and closed access journals. Open access journals are available for free. Closed access journals are, it is payable. But then if it is an institute, the institute pays for it, and you have an access to it. So take benefit of it. Read. Learn from the past mistakes. So no matter if you have submitted your journal, if you have submitted your article, it gets rejected, find out reasons. Don't get frustrated. That journal does not accept. Don't say that. There is some reason where they're not accepting. So learn from past mistake and venture into the medical writing at the early phase of a career as a graduate or postgraduate. This is my only suggestion I would like to give to everyone, that just start as early as you can. So thank you so much. I'd like to conclude my particular presentation here. I hope it was not something that it is a totally different topic, and that's why I decided to choose it. And I found the need that we all work towards establishing homeopathy. So I hope it was clear. And yes, my last is, this is my email ID. You can note it down. If any queries or anything related to, you can communicate with me through this email ID. You can take it down. Yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Madam Dr. Hina. Hello.
Okay, thank you, madam. Hello.
Yeah.
Madam, kindly suggest some Scopus journal or peer-reviewed journal of homeopathy. Actually, we are having.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, IGRH is a index journal. You can try publishing it. As I said, publishing in IGRH and all is, it may take time because it is it is a quality journal. So there is International Journal of Homeopathic Sciences. There is International Journal of Ayush, in which I got my my article published. So yes, there is a list. It is available. Everything is available online. You can just Google it. Google and find it out.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, one more thing. You please, when you're trying to find out the index journal, try to correlate it with the predatory journals as well. Sometimes it's very difficult to differentiate. And since these predatory journals publish articles faster, we are more attracted. It seems to be a index journal, but then there's a list given that also you'll get it online. Yeah.
Thank
So
you,
please
madam,
make
for
sure
your
you're not.
kind advice and suggestion regarding the peer review and Scopus journal.
Yes.
I would like to request Professor Dr. Mehta sir, Principal Rajkot Homeopathic Medical College, my senior colleague, to review or conclude the concluding remark of this webinar. Dr. Mehta sir.
Thank you, Panda sir. The today topic itself is a very interesting topic regarding the factors influencing the manuscript quality and standardize the guideline in homeopathy. Madam started with the three category, that is the student, academician, and practitioner. From this, that is the starting point for the each and every researcher. We have to develop research ability in ourselves only. So starting with the students, every student, that is the future of the researcher. Regarding the academician, that is the documentation for the same and must be published in the index journal. So it is the duty of the each and every academician to bring out with the some evidence based cases, and it must be communicate with the students of the institution. Regarding the practitioner, every practitioner is a researcher. So when we develop when we doing our practice, homeopathic practice, it must be evidence based cases must be collected, and it must be submitted in a concern journal also. And why to write a quality paper? We must publish quality paper, each case which is evidence-based case, and it must be published with the way of the publish in index journal, and establish the homeopathy as an evidence-based medicine, so that our science becomes a new height, and it gives the importance amongst the community of the rest of the faculty as well as the rest of the science as well. So medical writing, the clinical trial, putting up into the papers and into the documentation, which is very essential in order to survive our system also. Now it is very essential. Next time, that is we have to overcome how homeopathy works in terms of the proper documentation. So good journals, high quality manuscripts, well conceived and well reported research study must be acclaimed. Now, Madam nicely contributed to evaluate the manuscript. We have to follow the certain guidelines regarding the format and structure of the article, which is very essential. Good command on the language and term use, clarity of the title and length of the articles, the clarity, the
author must be realized. What is the title? It must not be. It must be very precisely and well acclaimed, so that it will be accepted by the uh, uh, researcher as well. Journal and its area of the interest, referencing, inclusion of the appropriate purpose and rationally, inclusion of the research component, multi-level quality check, that is very essential. Pre-quality check, that is every work which you have allotted, do it, and do it in a original work. Never use plagiarism, never use different terminology which has been already used, which has been a topic which has been already acclaimed by the other journal also. So we have to develop our skill, and it must be in a proper manner. So the main thing is to start yourself. Uh, that is the skill. Develop, start early, and read maximum article which has been come across, and subscribe it which has been going across whenever when an add-on which has been available to us. So in today's topic, madam, it is the duty of the each and every student, it is the duty of the each and every academician, it is the duty of the each and every homeopathic practitioner. We must focus the research work for the taking our science for new heights in terms of the documentation, evidence base, and the data for the promotion of our homeopathic science. Thank you very much, for wonderful madam, for your wonderful knowledge. Now I invite Principal of Parul Institute of Homeopathic and Research, Dr. B.P. Panda sir, for giving vote of thanks. Over to Dr. B.P. Panda sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta sir. Really, I am very happy and appreciate and feel myself proud to give vote of thanks to Javier madam. She has explained in such a manner a topic becomes very clear and very simple. And she encouraged not only the researchers but also the students. And it is not a tough task. You are doing research every time whenever you are practicing, whenever you are treating the patient. So she make it so easy. What I'm thinking, the burden of the researchers and newcomers will be less what they were thinking, seeing the word research. Second thing, it is a teamwork, what she suggested. So thank you, madam, for encouraging our student, our PG scholar, our PhD scholar, motivating them that this is a teamwork. If you have less command in English, then you can take the help of those fellows, those who have good command in English. And you told that if you have less knowledge, you can take the help of others. So taking the help of others, you should make your article so potential by which it cannot be rejected by any journal. So that is a good motivation what you share with us. I am very much thankful on behalf of our faculty to you, madam, and I hope the same cooperation in future. I am very much thankful to our management, President Dr. Devanshu Patel sir, Director Komal madam, who give us this platform to share with the eminent personality of different places of India, and by which our fraternity is being enriched. And because of that, we are sharing our knowledge. I am very much grateful to all the colleagues, Dr. Purab Desai sir, Principal, Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, Dean of Homeopathic Faculty, for his contribution to arrange this webinar. My senior colleague, Dr. Hina Rawal madam, my colleague, Dr. Mehta sir, we are working as a team to make it success. Number two, our logistic department, logistic department, Jitendra ji or Brijesh bhai, they are helping a lot to uninterrupted program, to conduct such type of uninterrupted program. And I am very much thankful to all the viewers. Without them, the program cannot be success, and hope the same cooperation in future also. Thank you very much to all those who have helped directly or indirectly to making this program successful. I again, with a great thanks and a great attitude towards madam, I request all of you to conclude the webinar series. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for having
So
me. Thank
let
you.
us end the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. It's good to
Yes.
see you all. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
Bye,
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.